and welcome to Conscious Transformation. My name is Helena Hall, and this episode is for all of you who are striving for success and happiness but have lost touch with what truly makes your heart sing. Are you living a life that doesn't fully resonate with who you are today? Today we're going to be diving into the importance of being your authentic self, following your heart and creating a life that truly resonates with your purpose. You only live once, so what are we waiting for? So to get started, I want to take a moment, wherever you are, to think about what truly makes you happy. Now, after this podcast, please take a few minutes just to think through what makes you happy and double check that your default answers are still true and relevant. What are the things that light you up from the inside out? Often we get so caught up in the hustle and the bustle of life that we forget to check in with ourselves and our deepest desires. So this is your reminder to do just that. Now, I remember when I first asked myself these questions, I was so focused on my career and meeting societal expectations that I hadn't stopped to consider what it was that I really wanted. I also had these goals and beliefs about what I needed to do for my happiness, but they were not actually connected to my happiness, my passions, or my purpose. It was a moment of clarity when I realized that the life I was building wasn't really aligned with my true passions and my dreams. So I decided to make a change. Now, one way to approach this is to start by thinking about what your ideal day looks like. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? These aren't just daydreams. These are clues to your true self. So write down these visions and use them as a guide to making small changes in your life today. Now, whilst you play and unfold this more sort of deeper understanding of what it is that you would like to be and how you'd like to live as your authentic self, start to make the small changes today. Now, the first step to living authentically is to understand who you really are. Now, this means getting in touch with your values, your passions, and your dreams. Often we suppress these aspects of ourselves because we think they aren't practical or because we're afraid of this judgment. But living authentically means embracing all of these parts, fully embracing ourselves. So for me, it's about living in a state of peace, acceptance, and allowing myself to be. I'm innately loving, and I love, to give, to share, and to unite. It wasn't always the case, as I had too many traumas in front of all of that desire. And so it took me some time to heal, to teach myself how to accept, how to love and be me. But now that I'm there, it's about finding more opportunities to share, love, and uplift others. So it's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about gradually aligning your daily actions with your inner self. Start by identifying these small steps that you can take today to move closer to your ideal life. Maybe it's spending more time on a hobby you love. For me, it's playing music or painting, or being outside in nature, or perhaps it's setting boundaries that protect your time and energy. One of the most powerful changes that I made was to realize that I was not living the life that I actually wanted. I was living a life that I thought I wanted, as I had pushed back my happiness goals until my 60s. So at that time, I was in my 30s, and it would have been a lifetime away. This realization was both liberating and terrifying, as I had to unlearn those many habits and beliefs that no longer served me and start listening to my inner voice, doing the work and feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So how do you start this journey of authenticity? So here are some steps to kind of guide you. First of all, I would say it's about self-reflection. So take the time to reflect on your life and identify areas where you feel unfulfilled. Ask yourself, what changes can you make to align more with your true self? And then 2, identify your values. What values are most important to you? Make a list and consider how your current lifestyle aligns with these values. 3, it's all about your passions. So, what activities make you lose track of time? What do you love? What did you love doing as a child? Reconnecting with these passions and find ways to incorporate them into your life. 4 is all about boundaries, protecting your time and energy by setting these boundaries, learning to say no to the things that don't serve you or your authentic self. 5, it's all about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So seek out the support that you need for your journey to authenticity. Surround yourself with positive influences and people that will encourage you to be yourself. And 6, practicing self-compassion. So be gentle with yourself during this process. Change takes time and it can be scary. So it's important to celebrate the small victories along the way. So just to explain a personal story, I want to share a journey of a dear friend of mine who rediscovered her inner self. She was a successful corporate executive, but felt this sort of persistent emptiness and often a loneliness and lost sensation. So through self-reflection and pursuing her passion for art, she started to transition to a fulfilling career as an artist. Now, obviously, it wasn't easy, but by aligning her actions with what her true self enjoyed, she found joy, contentment, and financial security. Now, that's the big piece. At the whole time where I was continuing to ignore my passions was because I simply did not believe that my passions could provide financial abundance. And it's important for you just to assume that it will do and have faith and create that reality where you can have your passion and financial abundance. So she started by taking evening art classes while working at her job. So it was kind of like a side hustle passion. So she set up her boundaries with her work to make time for her art. And something that she'd always loved to do, but really neglected in the years that she was dedicating to her career. She started surrounding herself with supportive friends and people that could encourage her with her passion. And gradually over time, she built a portfolio and she started selling her work online. And eventually, she made a full transition into being a professional artist. So this is the power of being authentic and living and following your passions. So as you embark on this journey, remember that authenticity is a continuous process. It's about making choices every day that honor who you are and what you are and having faith in those choices. It's also about being brave enough to live life on your new terms, even when it's challenging. A significant part of being authentic is embracing vulnerability. It's about showing up as who you are without the pretense. This can be incredibly scary because it's exposing parts of yourself that you might usually keep hidden. However, vulnerability is also where true connections and transformation happen. So think about a time when you felt truly seen and heard by someone. It was likely in a moment when you let your guard down and you shared something personal or you were vulnerable in some way. Now, these moments, they create the deep, meaningful connections and that allow you to feel like you're being your true, authentic self. So being vulnerable with others, give others permission to be vulnerable with you, and it fosters an environment of trust and authenticity. Another crucial aspect of living authentically is letting go of perfectionism. So perfectionism is almost the enemy of authenticity, but it depends on in which angle that you're embracing it or using it, because it forces you to conform to specific standards and potentially masks your own creative ability. There are obviously ways in which perfectionism is wonderful and it can be your greatest tool, but I personally have struggled with it for a long time in the negative sense. So, I essentially deep down must have wanted everything to be perfect, to be flawless, whether that's my work, my art, my appearance, my relationships, my body. This constant striving for perfection could lead me to feel devastated or exhausted or unfulfilled. But I realize that it's not about focusing on these elements. It's about being authentic and finding joy and passion in the humanness, in the realness, in the authenticity, and being able to connect with other people on that deeper level in a way which is really refreshing. So personally, when I meet people that are vulnerable and that are open, it provides me with enormous joy, and I get to also share and have my vulnerability and my openness received and welcomed. Another point is about listening to your intuition. It's a really powerful way to stay connected with yourself. Your intuition is your inner guide, and it's all too often that we don't listen to it. But ultimately, you know, and your gut knows you best. And it's important to kind of foster that understanding of your body, your sensations, and your feelings, and listening to it. To connect with your intuition, try practices like meditation or journaling, or spend time tuning into how you feel, how your body feels, and what you think about things. What do you feel about things? What's your inner guidance saying? And if you do struggle, then spending time in nature can often help us to reconnect by allowing us to let go of some of the chaos and the stress that we carry, and especially these days. So these activities tend to quieten your mind and help you to tune into your inner guidance. Your inner guidance can often feel like it's a whisper. And so you have to get very comfortable in listening and trying to pay attention. And trusting your intuition can lead to wonderful decisions that align more closely with your true self and your passions, your goals, and your desires. So saying no is another element that's really important. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but it's a vital skill in being authentic, being able to say no and not being so concerned about pleasing others, because it's all about what you say yes to, and it's about who you represent in your actions, your thoughts, your deeds, and where you spend your time. So learning to say no was also a game changer for me. I used to say yes to everything because I didn't want to disappoint anyone, but this left me feeling overwhelmed or disconnected with myself, probably more disconnected with myself. So by learning to say no, I could focus on what really felt in alignment with me. I started to make changes quite naturally to my environment. I decluttered my home, removing items that no longer resonated. I sought out new friends who shared my passions and my values, and I started to shift and change all of the things very naturally around me. And this created a supportive environment that really nurtured my new way of being, my new authentic self. Now, it's not a one-time event, but it's a continuous process of growth and self-discovery. So as you evolve, your understanding of your inner self may change, and embrace this growth. Look at it as peeling an onion or unfolding all of this opportunity and joy and new possibilities. So I continue to learn and grow on my journey. Each day brings new insights, new opportunities, new challenges for me to grow. And it's what keeps life so exciting and fulfilling. And it not only transforms your life, but it also has a ripple effect on the lives of those around you. So when you show up as your true self, you just very naturally inspire others to do the same. It's very contagious. If you meet somebody and they're just so happy and authentic, it rubs off. You feel that inspiration and that joy and that passion and that exciting. That's excitement. So I've seen this ripple in my own life. And as I became more authentic, my relationships improved. And as I felt more connected to those around me, I noticed a deeper relationship with those around me. So as you embark on your journey to authenticity, remember that you're not alone. There is a community of conscious transformers who are on the same path. So together we can all support and uplift each other. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Conscious Transformation. If you found this episode inspiring, please subscribe and share it with others who also might benefit, and leave a review. Stay connected with me via the Conscious Transformation free community, where you'll find additional resources and support. Together we can create a community to inspire and uplift each other. Follow me on Instagram or YouTube for more inspiration and resources. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Remember, you only live once, so let's make a life that truly resonates with who you want to be. Until next time, thank you. See you soon. Bye.